Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to welcome you to this session, and today we are going to handle what we call computer hardware. It still continues, and this is lesson 10. I remain Richard Faizo, IT Doctor, the facilitator. With this one, we are going to look at, that is, storage devices. Remember, we had covered system units, input devices, output devices. Then we also looked at what we call, and this is number 4, and that is storage devices. After handling input, we handled the output, we handled system units. So this time around, we are going to look at storage devices. With storage devices, it's a storage medium, in plural, which is a media, also called secondary storage devices, which are physical material in which computer keeps data, instruction, and information. Examples of storage medias are hard disk storage, state drives, memory cards, USB flash drives, express card modules, optical discs, smart cards, magnetic sweep cards, and microfilm. A storage device is the computer hardware that records or retrieves items to and from storage media. So in a brief or in a short form or in a nutshell, we can call storage devices as items or material that keeps data from and to a computer. Writing is the process of transferring data, instructions, and information from memory to a storage medium. That is when you, for example, when you are copying data from a computer to flash disks, that means you are writing. And reading is the process of transferring these items from a storage medium into a memory. When a storage device writes data on the storage media, they are creating output. Similarly, when the storage devices are read from a storage media, they are functioning as a source of input. So reading is like when you are transferring data from a flash to a computer. That's what we mean by reading. So with storage devices, they are used to store data in a computer, and they are divided into two. We have the secondary storage devices and primary storage devices. We're going to look at both of them, where they start with secondary storage devices, and these are devices which are used to store information and data permanently, even when the power is switched off. Of course, they are secondary, and that this means they are permanent. They store large amounts of data and information. One, we have the hard disk, we have the floppy disk, we have the compact disk or DVD, and also we have the flash disks plus the memory cards. All these are called secondary storage devices. They store data for a long time. Then we have the types of secondary storage devices. We can start with the magnetic secondary storage devices. We also have the solid state secondary storage devices, and then we also have the optical secondary storage devices. These are the types of secondary storage devices, the devices which keep data for a longer time or permanently. Let's start with the magnetic secondary storage devices, and there we have a magnetic tape. These tapes were used some time back, and they are still used in some areas. It's a medium that consists of a thin tape with a coating of fine magnetic materials for recording digital data. We have the floppy disk drive. It's a secondary medium that can be used to store data permanently. However, it doesn't store much. That is, can store up to 1.24 MBs, that is megabytes. So this is a floppy disk, and this is a floppy drive. Here, this is a floppy disk enter into a floppy drive like this. Then we can also have what we call a zip disk. It's a high capacity floppy disk that is slightly larger than a normal floppy disk. That means this one is a zip disk and has been higher capacity than a floppy disk. They can hold up to 100 or 250 MBs of data. They are durable and good for backing up data. We have a magnetic sweep card with a sweep that contains identifying information. Information on the sweep card includes your name, account number, and the card expiration date. So this card is also magnetic and can also store some data for the person. We have the magnetic, what we call hard disk drive, HD hard disk. This is the main and usually the largest data storage device in a computer. It's generally fastest in all secondary storage devices. We have the internal storage device and the external storage devices. Then we can also have the basic interfaces, that the physical means by which hard disk connects to the rest of the computer. There are basic interface like USB, FireWire. We can talk of the internal hard disk interface like a SATA, CD Advanced Technology Attachment. We have IDE, Enhanced Integrated Electronics. SCSI, we have the Small Computer Interfaces, and CSAS, that's the serial attached CSSI. So these are all what we call interfaces, or the interfaces which we use to connect some of the hard disks inside the computer for different, using different ports. For example, this is the power interface. This is also have the serial interface to some computers. Just connect like that. These are called the ID interfaces. This one, if you open inside the computer or the system, that's where you can see them. And this is CSIS interface. They are also here. The types of hard disks we have: internal, we have external, we have a movable hard disk, and an internal hard drive. So all these what I used examples of hard disks. We have internal and external, the removable, and so these are the optical media. That is a second type of second storage device, and it's a flat loud portable storage media that's made of metal and plastic that is written and read by a beam of laser light. So these are the CDs or the DVDs which we are talking about. Categories of the CDs of these discs: we have the CDs and DVDs, with DVDs having much greater storage capacity than CDs. Then examples: we have the CD-ROM, we have the CDR, can talk of the CDRW, and you can also talk of DVD-ROM. Never forget the DVDs are very but very recordable and writable versions. So in order for us to understand this kind of discs, we have the CD-ROM, that's compact disk used on the memory. This is written by the manufacturer and you cannot be erased or modified. Then CDR, this is compact recordable. Get it? See, always write on it, and you write on it once. Then we have this one, CDRW. It's writable, that means it is erasable and you can write on it multiple times. DVD-ROM, this is also extremely high capacity compact disk capable of storing from 4 to 7 to 1 to 17 GB. Then we have DVDs, and that's a Blu-ray disc has storage up to 100 GB. Then we can also have the precautions which we consider keeping the diskette safe. One, don't fold it. Two, we can talk about pressing the magnetic field, like radio speakers and top of the system units. Don't export diskette to direct sunlight. Keep it away from intensive heat. Always keep this jacket. Don't drop it on hard surface. You can also talk of don't force it into its drive. You should slip in with a little or no resistance, and don't write to the board direct on it, or if it happens where it's a marker. That's how we can keep it safe. You can see here, don't export to excessive heat. Showing it to here. Don't eat or smoke between near discs. Don't stack discs. Don't not touch on the side of the discs. Don't store the disc in jewel box or not in use, and also don't hold the disc by its edges. They're asking you to hold it like this if you are actually using it. Then you can talk of the solid state media, and this is also entirely electronic components and contain no moving parts. We have them like we have the flash memory cards. You can talk of the USB flash disks, and we have the smart cards. These are the flash memory cards we are talking about. Of course, they are electronic. As you can see, we have smart media, micro SD, we have mini SD, and many others. You can talk of them like they are tiny, recordable, and they are able to obtain data without power. These are the memory cards we are talking about. We have the USB flash drive. It's small and lightweight memory that plugs in a USB in a computer. So this one uses USB port so that you can read from the computer. So we have many of them. We have other types like photographic film, the sheet of plastic that is used to record and store photographs. Chemical processes can then be applied to the film to create visible images in the process called film developing. So these films were used some time back. We have other storage medias like this card reader, this is a memory card, this is a flash disk, smart card. We have the USB, they have the lines here and the flash. So all these are called the storage medias. Characteristics, of course, here equals to the capacity of bytes. That is, if USB flash drive can swap to 4 GB of data, and the unit can exceed this. The typical hard disk has 300 GB and can exceed to this up to terabytes of data. We can talk of the units of storage capacity, like 8 little bits make 1 byte, and 1 byte stores approximately to 1 character. For example, KB is equal to 1024 bytes, and that is a megabyte equal to 1024 kilobytes. And we can have here gigabyte, which is equal to 1024 megabytes. Then the terabyte equal to 1024 gigabytes, like that. That's how we measure the capacity of the storage devices. And here we can differentiate between hard disk and a floppy disk. Remember, hard disk is always store more information than a floppy disk. We have it's metallic, this is always plastic. It's flexible, this is fixed because it's up to 1.44 MBs, which is more faster, more information faster. This is slow. It's what's less risks here, it's more risks. Then when we talk about the primary storage device, that's another type, another second category of storage devices. We have the primary storage devices, and these ones are called the memories. The computer's memory is the system consists of one or more chips which can control the CPU to discrete time. We have this got two types of memory, that is volatile, again RAM, and non-volatile, that's ROM. We have major types of RAM, types of memory, that's RAM and what? And ROM. And here you can see that the guy here was trying to insert a memory chip inside a memory module, so that is it. And this is an example of RAM chip. This is how a RAM chip looks like. So a prime memory is this type of, that's why data instruction temporarily on when the computer is working. I have types of memory. Primary memory, we have random access memory, that is RAM. We have cache memory and the read-only memory, that is the ROM. This is the other kinds of memory chip. We can talk of the memory cache buffers. We can talk of CMOS flash memory, just as these are all memories inside the computers. We have the other kind of when it comes to RAM, this is a working memory. We've seen it, and the actually store data temporarily. That is when the computer is on. When it is off, no longer works. Types of RAM, we have static RAM, that's RAM. You can also talk of dynamic RAM, that's the RAM. All these kind of storage medium. We can also talk of the other kind of memory, like read-only memory. This is a type of store information which was put at the time of manufacturing. It can't be modified, and also it can't be made. So it's done once and for all. Disk ROM types, we can talk of PROM, that is programmable read-only memory. We can talk of EPROM, that's erasable and programmable read-only memory. We can talk of EEPROM, that is electronically erasable and programmable read-only memory. Then when it comes to the difference between RAM and ROM, of course, this is volatile, this is non-volatile, this is continuous when the power goes off, this one, what is the minimum power goes off. Read and write, this read only, can't be included, this can't be included, that can that cannot code it factory, that this firmware code factory. So this one means that data can not be recorded at factory, and this one firmware recorded at factory. This means the information was put there during time of manufacturing. That's what it means. Then we have cache memory, that is a small type of volatile computer that provides high-speed data access to a processor and storage frequently computer programs and applications. So as we are done with using any kind of program, it is stored in what's called cache memory. Then buffers, they are special that found in input and output devices. For example, printers have buffers where they can store massive documents sent by the CPU for printing. The information you find in the computer after you ordering it, it's what called buffers. You can keep data for some simple time. Then we have processor components, that is the last as category of system, computer system, or what we call system unit. This is computer system, that is the processor or processing components, and this is known to be the heart of the computer where the data processing takes place. And they also refer the brain of the computer, or what we call the central processing unit, that is the microprocessor. It carries out command it processes data. Actually, those are the major two uses of a CPU. Comprises of the following main components, that is the ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. We can talk of the which performs calculation decisions. We have the control unit, which coordinate the processing steps. We also have the registers, which stores data temporarily and can also be used to store instructions on the network of the CPU. Then we can also talk of the types of processors. The leading manufacturing personal computer processors chips are Intel and HMD. These ones, Intel and HMD kind of processors. The high performance personal computer is what we call Intel Core family. There is expensive basic personal computer. There is a brand of Intel processor, processor family. So this is an updated kind of processor which is on nowadays. Types of processors: we have the processor by Intel, that is Pentium 1 up to Pentium 4, dual cores 1 and 2. We have Celeron, Intel Core 3, Core 5, Core 7, etc. This is the processor by Intel. Then we have processors by AMD. These are Xeon, Celeron, Ampheron, Tium, Phenom, Sempron, Turian, Ampheron, Phenom 2, Sericos. All these were used some time back. So this is how a processing unit works. What we call a processor. It has all this. It has a control, it has an arithmetic unit, which is used to maintain or store data. The buses, this is the data buses, commonly to path that element data to the various system components. It allows system inside this to communicate with each other. This is the bus system on the motherboard, most especially. We have the power supply, actually, which causes the which supply power of the bus of the computer, converts for outlet to this AC to DC, and this is it. This is the fan, or what we call the heat sink, and this is the where the CPU is. Heat sink is a small ceramic or metal component that fills the surface that absorbs heat produced by the electrical power such as the processor. That's the work of that heat sink. Then we have the control unit, that processor that controls or directs most of the operation of the computer. That is it. That's how actually it operates. It has what we call the machine cycle. It fetches instructions, it decodes the instructions, it executes, then it stores the instructions or the results. That's how a machine cycle operates. And this one marks the end of actually our lesson today, after looking at the output, actually the storage devices and the processors. Wish you well, and that marks the end of our topic, that is computer hardware. And inshallah we shall meet in what we call next topic. It's about computer softwares. You can reach me on these contacts. You can always reach me also on my email.